Energy.
What is up, everybody? This is your fantasy podcast. Welcome back, everybody. Yo, I'm with the guys, the two-time champ, the Cobra, Ryan Mulvaney, and my boy, Billy Beam. Billy, sorry about that, man. I don't know what happened to me. I'm a little tired today. My
Steaming,
boy,
Billy
Steaming,
Beaming.
Billy Beaming. My goodness. What's up,
Cheers,
guys?
cheers,
How's everything
everybody.
going? How's everybody doing tonight?
We doing good, bro.
All right, all right. Well, it's been a week since we've, 2 weeks since we drafted. How's everybody still feeling about their teams about 2 weeks ago?
I still feel good, man. That's why I made no trades. That's why I'm locked in, bro. I think this is the first time, one of the first times that I'm not gonna try to trade early. I looked and I started thinking about it, and I was just like, nah. I like where I'm at, but I did actually make one little minor adjustment, and I went and grabbed motherfucking Ronnie Bell, bro. I don't know
Sound
why
like
I didn't draft him.
you sound like a Michigan guy or something like that, man.
Oh, you already know, baby.
I mean, yeah, Ryan,
I'll
doesn't it
go.
seem
I'll
kind of
go
like
throw
a
in that
college
Woodson.
kind of thing here? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
yeah, see?
What?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah, hey,
serious?
Hey, some guy who's barely going to make the team, Ryan, so don't worry about it.
Barely gonna make the team. Who's leading all wide receivers in preseason right now, bruh?
Okay. He said preseason?
It don't matter. Out of
Hey,
all rookies
that
right
means
now.
that means Aiden O'Connell's going to be the next Super Bowl MVP.
Hey, what other wide receivers are being talked about right now? Ain't nobody showing out.
It's fine, man. I mean, all right, well, all right, easy. I know those are your boys out there, Jake Moody, all those good guys. But you feel very confident with your team still. No urge to trade or anything. You're ready to just roll into the season with what you got.
Yes, sir.
How
That's why I drafted him.
How about you, Ryan? How do you feel the same way? Any trades lurking or?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I feel like I keep looking at my roster and I think like, man, this is usually the kind of roster that I have at the end of the season. Not like I don't usually start the season with the amount of running backs that I have. So like I've been putting feelers out for Ken Walker just to see what's out there. I'm not really like pressed to move anything, but no, I feel good. Like I'm happy with my team. It's how the draft fell to me. So I'm good with it.
Yeah, man, I've been getting a couple of trade offers, and I'm kind of just pushing them around. I'm always up to trade early, even in preseason. I know I'm notorious for doing stuff like that, and usually it bites me in the ass, and sometimes it helps me. But this season, man, I don't know. I just like the way I drafted, and like Billy's saying, man, I just stick with it, man. And
yeah, you really don't need to trade. Like your team right now, bro. If you started trading and making hella changes, you would be like, I think you would be stupid because I'm telling you, your team is just, it's fucking immaculate, bro.
I was hoping the fantasy guru was going to be on. There was a deal out there. I was trying to work with him a few days ago, or I was thinking about it.
With the fancy, maybe we can
Don't
get a late,
him.
He doesn't need any help, man. He looks
Don't
like
help him.
It's gonna be between him and Trey. Trey might go back to back, man. I keep looking at his team, man. But for a guy who goes back to back, winning championship, he might go back to back on the street with a street sign and shaking it. So you better be careful. But yeah, I mean, sounds like everybody's good there. I know later on tonight we're gonna get into some. We want to talk about some mid-round players to look for in the draft, because I know that's where it starts to get a little dicey and shaky. But before we get into that, I want to talk about. You guys hear the news on Trey Lance?
Bro, look I said this already. I said it. I don't know. I said it in a couple group chats. I said it to a few people. I already seen it in preseason week 1. Sam Darnold just looked that much better, bro. And it was just a matter of time that they made that happen. Even though, like yesterday, I think I heard that the coach they asked the coach the question, but he said that there was going to be no definitive answer until prior to week 1 starting. So it was kind of a shock to hear the news already break. So I don't know if somebody in the organization opened their lips a little too early, but from what the coach was saying yesterday, he's not making any decisions as of yesterday. So I don't know where Tom Pellegrosso and what's his name? The fake Adam, you know what I'm saying? What's his name? The NFL analyst, what's the fuck is his name?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
I got you right now.
At all, I mean, after everything, was Trey Lance going into the season? Was he really a draftable player? Like at some point in, I mean, even I just didn't see. I know he got drafted in our leagues because it's an early league. It was still kind of like up in the air. They were always talking about, is it Brock Purdy or is it Trey Lance? We're talking about early August because
Brock
of the injury.
Purdy before that though.
But because of the injury though, nobody knew until Brock Purdy got cleared, right? Okay, all right, but still.
Ian Rappaport, that was the damn guy.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I know who that guy is. But yeah, I know. I think I think Trey drafted him in our league, and that kind of shows you where his mindset is in drafting. It's not too good, but yeah, Sam Darnold. I mean, yeah, we're talking about backup quarterbacks over there. What do you see? Do you see Trey Lance going somewhere else? Think we getting a trade, or you think he's just gonna sit it out?
Nope. It's not about sitting out. All right. Think about this. There's a lot of speculation on him getting traded and him going to another team right now. But if the 49ers were to do that, what was the whole reason behind the biggest stink that they threw about having an extra QB for them? What are they going to do? They're going to go find somebody else. They're going to go get another Josh Johnson. Like, no, like he's not going to get traded. At least not yet. I think it's way too early for that. They're not going to get the value out of him that they want. They traded crazy to get him. Yes. And you know what I'm saying? I think, and then if a team right now trades for Trey Lance, I was actually texting somebody about this earlier. If they trade for Trey Lance right now, that's just going to make a big spotlight on a whole QB situation. And not a lot of teams want that, especially to start the year. So I think it happens maybe by trade deadline. It maybe, and I'm saying that's a big if too. I think it happens in the offseason. They're going to keep Trey Lance, third string quarterback, depending on what happens, because obviously you guys know 49ers have this injury bug that happens every season. Don't matter what side of the ball it's on. 49ers are one of the most injured teams in the NFL, always limping into the playoffs and things like that. So I think Trey stays as third string. I mean, he could get that QB2 spot back from Sam. But again, I think that trade happens after the season.
All right. Anything on that on that subject, Ryan, or pretty much dialed it all in?
I'm Barry follows with the closest.
Yeah, I'm hearing Josh Jacobs is close to signing up and gearing up over here. I've been reading up a lot of Raider news here. I mean that's good for like people this weekend for fantasy, right? I mean, if he can get a deal done before Saturday or sign that deal. Pretty much his franchise tag. That's what they're talking about. Gonna go ahead and play on it. We saw 2 weeks ago his stock just go way down there. I mean, if he wasn't on that franchise, or if he would have signed his franchise tag beforehand, where does he go? Does he go in the first round in fantasy drafts, Ryan? Yeah,
maybe the back end, early second.
Because I know he went way low. I think he almost made it to the third round type. I think he was like. Man, I think he came back around and was like right before me almost. I think Trey picked him up right before me. So yeah, he was way on the back end. I think his stock rises just a little bit more, just knowing that he's if he's going to play from week one. I know there's a lot of people that looked at Zamir White, who's having a great preseason. If Josh Jacobs did not play, that's one of the guys you can kind of get a late round steal. But he also looked good in preseason. Since we talking about preseason football. And how people are shining. My boy Aiden O'Connell's up there. I might have to take a late round pick on the keeper if fragile Jimmy G doesn't pan out. But yeah, I mean Josh Jacobs looks like he's gonna sign there. I don't have any other really fantasy news that kind of like hit us. You guys any signings? Anything that comes to mind?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of injuries.
I was gonna say there's been a few.
Smith-Njigba, broken hand.
Okay, and Njigba with the injury.
Yeah, he's supposed to have surgery. They said that from what I read yesterday, he's supposed to have surgery, but he should be back by week 1. But I mean, be realistic, man. He's not gonna be productive for the next few weeks. I think that knocks his draft spot down just a few rounds from 7-8 where it's at to probably maybe around 11-12.
They have an early bye week too, so it wouldn't shock me if they kind of keep him on ice for the most part until that bye. But Yeah, the other thing too is the Jonathan Taylor deal.
I was just gonna get into that. I was like, Ryan, why don't you listen to Jonathan Taylor here, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, so it sounds like there's some smoke and maybe there's some fire there. 6 teams have reached out, had conversations about trading for Jonathan Taylor. The last thing I read on Twitter is that there's actually a couple offers out there to the Colts. A lot of speculation about the Miami Dolphins. The other team I'm not too sure about, but I know the Dolphins are definitely one that they've been looking to get another running back in their stable, starting with Dalvin Cook and some other guys. They try to trade for Saquon. So it doesn't surprise me, going after Jonathan Taylor. The other 6 teams, but I couldn't find any names. Just a lot of speculation, like
The
Bills,
Bears.
Chiefs,
Bears were one.
Bears. Yeah, Bears.
Just because the Bears had the most cap room, I think, because they're not really paying anybody, not yet. I mean, if Fields, becomes a stud, there's $250 million right there in 5 years. So, but that was one of the big ones. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, yeah. I mean, so speaking of Jonathan Taylor, since you're going into drafts this weekend, the Jackson, I think, is his backup, kind of a late round filler, kind of like something you want to keep your eye on, just in case he does get traded. I mean, because I think he's number 2. He's number 2 in line. He also got Kenyon Drake, I think, out there. So keep an eye on those 2 running backs in the later rounds. A little side note for you guys just to keep aware of if he does get traded. And any other injuries we have?
I'm trying to think. No, I know that Treylon Burks got. I don't know if we talked about it last week, but I know he's injured. He'll be out for a few weeks. I think he had like what did they say he had? He had something sprained. MCL, I believe it was.
MCL, ACL, something with a CL, right?
Yeah, something with the CL. I know Tim Patrick for the Denver Broncos is out. I know he's not wide receiver 1, but that's just notable. So if you're going to draft, but yeah, he LCL. Yeah, there you go.
LCL. Okay. Yeah, we don't want an ACL, man. I don't wish any ACL tear on nobody. So, yeah. How about those Washington Commanders, man? Sam Howell with the starting gig, man. Do we all know that?
Oh, Scary Terry, man. Turf toe.
Oh yeah, there we go. Another one.
Week to week. He'll be all right though.
Turf toe is one of those crazy ones, man. I know Charles Woodson dealt with that a lot, and then you got prime time.
My guy Patrick Willis. That's why he retired.
Yeah, man. It all depends on how bad the turf toe really is, but. Yeah, man. So yeah, you cut off my Sam Howell, man. What about Sam Howell? Is he draftable now? He's the number 1. He's a starter week 1 going in Washington. Nobody wants to give Sam Howell any love out there.
No, I'm mildly interested, but not in our league. Like
it's got to. I think it's one of those. Let's wait till the regular season and try to get him off of waivers type of situation.
All right, for sure, man. If we ain't got nothing else, man, we can talk about these middle rounds. I know there's so many players in the middle round, man, that it all depends on what round everybody's looking for. Like Billy has the 0 running back strategy. I was going the same way. Ended up just following whatever the board gave me, and it kind of gave me, like, what did I go? I went wide receiver. I went tight end, wide receiver, running back. And I wasn't planning on going there. I was planning on going 3 straight wide receivers. But just the way the board goes, sometimes you just got to follow it. All right, so I guess I'll kick it off with who I like in the middle rounds is Tyler Lockett, man. I think he's one of the underrated wide receivers going in the middle rounds. I think you're going to get a lot of value out of him. All this guy does is produce. I know they got Njigba, and they're going to share the ball a little bit more. But man, I think this is just one of one of his guys right there in the side pocket, man. They had good chemistry just in his first year when Gino took in his 1 year he's been there as a starter. He had 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. But Tyler Lockett's been doing this, I don't know since he's.
Oh, we lost you. You hit the mute button. Do not touch your mic, man. Keep your paws off the mic.
He's one of the more safer. I was trying to get my Mandalorian picture in here, man. So I was Tyler Lockett's one of the more safer picks, man, and I think you get good value. Looks like he's the number 62 overall. This is just overall. So I mean, you're looking in like the middle of the fifth round right here. Perfect spot. If he slips anything past that, he's gonna be a steal for sure. I don't know how you guys feel about Tyler Lockett. Pretty much fifth, sixth round. I think it's really, really good value. I think pretty much higher than that you can get.
You know what? I'm gonna start with a rookie in the middle rounds, man, and I'm gonna go with Quentin Johnston, man, in LA for the Chargers. Like I said, man, for me, I base a lot of this off of QB play and who the QB is. So it's not only what the wide receiver or running backs can do, it's also what this quarterback is doing, man. Like Quentin Johnson has one of the better quarterbacks in Justin Herbert, and when both Mike Williams and Keenan Allen went down last season, he made those backup wide receivers look like they were top tier talent, man. Had everybody in waivers trying to go pick them up, wasting dollars on them, trying to get them on their team because of the value that they brought. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't those wide receivers. It was Justin Herbert making plays, making these wide receivers better. And I've said this time and time again on this podcast. Justin Herbert is a quarterback that he elevates his players. He's one of those type of quarterbacks, which is why I see such value in having Justin Herbert as one of those top tier, in my personal opinion. I know that he's not on everybody's list there yet, tier 2 or what have you, but Quentin Johnston, he's a bigger wide receiver. He's a Mike Williams type of body. And if Mike Williams or Keenan Allen goes down, look for this kid to be elevated to wide receiver 2, wide receiver 1, just like that. Get that big frame. He's going to high point balls. And I see it's like value for him, like around 7-8 at where he went in our draft. The only reason why I wasn't able to grab him, I had to grab some other running backs before. I didn't have anything on my team. So
yeah, zero running backs at that time.
You know what I'm saying? So but he has for me, I think he's one of the better rookie wide receivers right now that you'll get some super value. And then, I mean, possibly even as a keeper, 7-8 next year, especially if he goes off, he might be round 2 talent, round 3 talent next year.
The only knock, I like him a lot. The only knock I have on him is there's so many mouths to feed out there. And I love the quarterback play too there. But you're talking about Gerald Everett also at the tight end. You're talking about the other 2 receivers with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. I know those guys are injury prone. So I think if those guys get hurt, yeah, he's gonna eat for sure. But also Austin Eckler's taking 100 receptions out the backfield for you. So there's just so much, so many mouths to feed out there. That's the only knock I have on him. But you're right. If one of those receivers go down and he just slips in, I think that's when more likely he's going to see production. But for me, I like Quentin Johnson coming into this season.
Yeah, man. No, I agree with you on that. There is a lot of mouth feeds. I did like that little slide in of Gerald Everett. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody was eyeing. All of a sudden, you get him around 16. Now you're talking about him. I see you.
I've been reading up on him, man. They're talking about he might be a breakout season this year. So they said They said it for real, they're talking about like 700 to 800 yards compared to last season, he only had like 5 or something like that. But they're talking about they kind of want to focus on the tight end a little bit more this season, especially with the new offensive coordinator.
He had a solid season last year, and Cobra knows I was high on him, man. I like Gerald Everett. I almost kept him. I had him. I picked him up 16th, so he would have been my 16th this year. But I obviously went Ayuk. But yeah, no, I'm high on Gerald Everett. I really like him. He's one of the better tight ends, and if they feed him the ball, he's going to be a monster.
Well, I hope so, man. I really do. How do you feel about Quentin Johnston, Ryan? It's a pretty solid pick.
Yeah, I think he's all right. I'm not super high on him. I think the biggest positive on him is that offense that he's in. I'd be willing to bet money that one of Keenan Allen or Mike Williams are going to get hurt.
Easy with that, man. Easy.
Yeah,
Keenan Allen, we're talking about.
Mike Williams doesn't know how to fall, man, and Keenan Allen, he's one bad step away from another knee injury. So it's, I like Quentin Johnson for that reason. I guess the only drawback I'd say, and this is just more of like my preference when it comes to fantasy, but I tend to lean towards the kind of receivers that are like route technicians, those type of guys. And not saying Mike Williams is a bad route runner, but he's, from what I've seen, is more of a contested catch guy. He has huge size and just crazy athletic ability. So it's definitely going to work. He's going to get some huge bombs down the field. But I tend to go for more like route technicians and that kind of stuff, just personally.
All right. All right. Well, we'll just roll into your next. What pick do you have for us over there in the later rounds, Ryan?
Yeah. I think the first one. So talking about route technicians, let's just start with a route technician. I'm looking at Fantasy Pros ADP from like Yahoo and some other different places, and the first one I want to talk about is Deontay Johnson with the Steelers. So ADP for Deontay Johnson on Yahoo is at 88. So that puts him in what, round 7-ish, 8, round 7, 8, maybe around 6. This guy, he's had 2 seasons of over 140 targets consecutively. Really bad luck last year with no touchdowns. I think that Pickett's going to be a lot better this year. For some reason, I have a feeling that offense is going to be better. And in the one preseason game that Johnson's played in, he looked like the same old Deontay Johnson. Just the guy. When I talk about route technicians, I like guys that just get open. They get open and they get targeted. And Johnson is one of those guys. A few seasons back, I had Johnson on my roster, and one of the biggest things I watched, reasons why I drafted him, was because watching this video on YouTube, breaking down the routes that Johnson runs. And this is in his rookie season. This guy is cooking fools left and right, killing them on the comebacks, shaking them, able to get open at all 3 levels, and he still has it. And so I think with that skill set as a route runner, along with a year or 2 of Kenny Pickett, I think Johnson's going to see a lot of positive regression when it comes to touchdowns. And that could be like 4 or 5 touchdowns, but considering the targets he had last year, you could end up getting a pretty good year out of him. And you're getting him in like round 6, 7, 8.
Yeah,
so that's my first one.
Yeah, I like him too, but I like the other guy on the other side of the field. On the other side of the field, playing wide receiver. I'm gonna say George Pickens, man. I think this guy has potential to be like put up like DK Metcalf numbers, man. This guy's a big guy. I mean, you throw the ball up, he's gonna go get it. I agree with you with Kenny Pickett, man. I think the Steelers' offense is just gonna be very, very, I think, competitive. Let's just say that, because last season they weren't competitive at all. I mean, they just got down and then teams would just run on them and they would just run the clock out on these guys. But I think they're going to be a lot more competitive. The defense, they can hold other teams. And Kenny Pickett, man, what I've seen so far in preseason, I know it's preseason football, but man, the way he's putting the zip on that football, the way he's placing the football, that's the stuff I look at. Not the stuff that he's threw a touchdown. Yeah, but where did he throw that touchdown? Like, he's throwing it over guys. He's throwing it between. He's putting it in a spot where only the receivers can catch it. And George Pickens, man, this dude's gonna be a monster, man. I'm telling you, last season as a rookie, I saw flashes of what he can do. Now with a full OTAs, off season, put a little bit of muscle on, work on a little bit of route running. I mean, I'm telling you, man, this guy could be easily. I think he might be one of those receivers that he's gonna be a keeper. If you get him in the 7th and 8th round, man, you're gonna love it. That's one of the guys that I was trying to. Man, George got me by 1 or 2 picks. He got me by 1 or 2 picks. I had him, man. I was just so close. I'm gonna get George Pickens right now, man. I'm gonna get him.
I took Freiermuth that round too.
Yeah, he sniped me, man. He sniped me. But yeah, look for George Pickens, man. I'm telling you, I don't think you're gonna disappoint with that pick there.
I'll chime in on that. So I'm with you. I actually haven't really been high on Pickens, to be honest, but from what I've seen, at least from the couple preseason games, I think they're going to change up his route tree this year, Pickens. And if what I saw a lot of last season, he was running a lot of go routes, going to the outside. I think they're going to start pulling him back towards the middle this year. And I don't know if I mentioned this on a pod way, way back. I think I might have mentioned it. But Kenny Pickett, his passing chart, right, out of college and in his rookie season, he's one of those quarterbacks that throws a lot over the middle. That's kind of his natural tendency, is not to go so much outside the numbers, but to pepper targets through the middle. So who, if we think about it, who does that really benefit? Last season, that was a lot of Deontay Johnson, and it was a lot of Pat Fryermuth. This next season, I still think Johnson and Fryermuth are going to be really good, but if they do like what we saw in preseason and start getting Pickens over the middle, it could be really good for him too. So, and the 2 touchdowns I remember from preseason from Kenny Pickett was Pickens in the middle, over the middle for a touchdown in the first preseason game. And then the second game was Fryermuth for 20 yards in the middle for a touchdown.
Hey, man, I like what I see out of those guys, man. Billy, you want to chime in a little bit? I know you're a big guy. You're big on George Pickens also.
Yeah, I just like, he's wide receiver 1. He's a very talented kid. I liked what he did last season, man. He surprised me because even with this, because last season you got to think he had a smaller frame. He looked a little skinny, but he was still on that field. He was hitting them. He had really nice route running. He was doing his thing. He was getting the ball a lot. He could high point balls. He's a playmaker. That's what I like. That's what I liked out of him. And especially with their rookie quarterback Kenny Pickett, I was kind of standoffish last season, especially for the whole Pittsburgh offense. But seeing what they do, seeing how that whole offense worked, it clicked, and it was just nice to see what this kid was made of, man. So getting him, I got him in the 8th, just seeing what he was able to do and get him in the 8th, man. I was like, all right, cool. I got wide receiver 1 talent for that team. You know what I'm saying? In the 8th round, he's going to get the ball a lot. We were in a half-point PPR league. It just made sense, especially round 7, 8, man. So he's a very talented kid, and I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, I'm for sure he's like 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns type of guy. To get that kind of volume in an 8th or 9th round, yeah, you can't beat that. But yeah, he's going 80, number 82 overall on Fantasy Pro. So yeah, I could be one of the steals, man. I like it. What you got for us, Billy? What's next?
My next up, I'm gonna go tight end, man. I mean, you could probably get this kid in the later rounds, but if you're hurting for a tight end and you're looking for something that, if you want to take a risk, you can go, I would say 9th round, possibly the earliest. Look for Mr. Dalton Kincaid out of Buffalo, man. I mean, this kid is a big time tight end, man. He's big. Dawson Knox is falling off.
How big is he?
There. He's pretty big, bro. Pretty big. But they got him overall 124, and they got him as a tight end rank 15. They got him above Dawson Knox, but I feel like this kid, he's gonna have a solid rookie season, man. I think he's gonna get the ball a lot. You know, tight ends and everything. It's hard to come by. So if you don't draft one of the top 4 to 5 tight ends early, and you need a tight end, look for Mr. Dalton Kincaid, man. I think he's going to have himself a solid season. Dawson Knox, they obviously drafted him for a reason because of what happened last season when Mr. Knox wasn't there. He had a couple good games here and there, but it's just he just didn't look the same. I don't know what was going on. He fell off. It was a drastic fall off, like crazy. I mean, he had a lot of drop passes and things like that. So I mean, it just, I don't know, timing, whatever have you. But Dalton Kincaid, man, if you're looking for something fresh, something new, look for that kid.
Yeah, I like Dalton Kincaid coming into this season. A lot of upside there, you know, especially in the Buffalo's offense. So yeah, I mean, tight ends are hard to find, man. If you don't get those first 5, how many tight ends do you think are worth drafting early total?
4, literally 4, only 4. At least in the first 3 rounds.
See, after that, then it's a crapshoot.
Kelsey, Andrews, Hawkinson,
Kittle.
I
don't know, Waller. You don't think Waller's gonna have maybe 5?
You guys want a hot take? I like Waller as tight end too.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I don't think I'll give Trey that one. I don't think it was a bad pick in the 4th round.
All right, so who's in Jacksonville right now? Real quick, I just want to.
Evan Ingram.
Okay, so wasn't he in New York not too long ago with Danny Dimes? And what were we saying about Mr. Evan Ingram?
He was almost a bust.
Well, he was a bust. That's what we were saying
Oh yeah. He was a bust.
Yeah.
First
until
round
he hit
talent.
Jacksonville. Until he hit Jacksonville, and then it all changed. Everything was different.
But I get where Ryan's going with this though. Like there's literally
I
no
do
other
too.
pass. There's no other passing game. I mean, as a Raiders fan, I saw Waller all the time. I mean, I saw Waller, yeah, it's great. I mean, but the thing about it is, man, Danny Dimes with the way he runs a lot, man. He's not throwing the ball that much. And I get it. If he's the only guy throwing the ball literally this guy has to be getting like 15 catches a game. You know what I mean? If you think like anything's gonna happen. But
man.
Danny's only throwing it 20 times a game. He's not gonna get 15 catches, man.
I mean, I might be wrong, but I think it could be different this year. The main, I talked a lot of shit about Danny Jones last season, a lot, and but actually, I think they're gonna be good this year, man. It's not but not even because of Daniel Jones. It's because of Dable, their coach. That guy, that's the offensive coordinator that had Josh Allen. Remember when Josh Allen came to the league? He was trash, dude. He was a lot like Daniel Jones. All he could do was get rushing touchdowns. Had a cannon of an arm, but was inaccurate. A lot of interceptions. And I just feel like we're kind of starting to see Daniel Jones morph that same way. Not saying he's going to be as good as Allen, but he looked better last season. And then I think another year in that system, they're probably going to be better. And then just the stuff that I'm reading out of training camp, it's all Waller, dude. We're talking 25 to 30% target share for Waller if he stays healthy. And that's the big question. But man, that preseason game they had this last week, they look good, dude. I could see it.
I love Waller, man. But when we got a third round pick for him, I was happy with that, man. And that's it. How much does that tell you? Waller being the Pro Bowl tight end he was, and I was happy about getting a third round pick for him. So,
and yeah, no, the big question is, can he stay healthy?
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yes. So he goes down, and then what did the Giants got?
Slayton, Hodgins.
So you're banking on him to stay healthy. You need him to stay healthy. So I don't know. Yeah. All right, Ryan. We'll see. Only time will tell, Ryan. We'll figure that out later on in halfway through the season. But who do we leave off on?
Mr. Kincaid.
Oh yeah, Kincaid was the last one. Ryan, you got another one for us?
Yeah, another super obvious one. Jahan Dotson, man. Dotson.
Yeah, how you forget about him?
Smash.
I think a lot of people are sleeping on him. So
yeah,
because I know I was until actually I heard a couple reviews on him. But yeah, talk about him, man. Because I think a lot of people see Washington and then they're like, Sam Howell, push away. So what is the reason, man?
I mean, if you look at what he did last season with Heineke and whoever else they had there, the guy is just one of those. I think what I said last week, he reminds me of Antonio Brown. Smaller guy, hell of a route runner, and just knows how to win on contested catches, even at a smaller size. Guy's a beast, man. And just seeing him in preseason again with Howell, if Howell is even, I hate making this argument, but if he's even halfway decent, McLaurin and Dotson are going to have a huge season. And then they got Eric Bieniemy. So
yeah, with Eric Bieniemy over there. Well, I hope that Bieniemy uses this season to really get out of Andy Reid's shadow, and I know that's the biggest talking point of the whole Washington situation right now. Was it all Andy Reid, or did Bieniemy really have that much input to make the Chiefs' offense really what it is? So if he can translate everything that happened in Kansas City over to Washington, then Washington, they're going to have a really good season. So, but to Jahan Dotson, how I'm always talking about quarterbacks making their players better. Jahan Dotson's that receiver that's that talented to make his quarterbacks better. He's that athletic. He was making some crazy plays last season. Yeah, he didn't put up some crazy numbers, but what he was doing on that field, he was getting open for sure and making a lot of those cornerbacks look crazy, putting on skis, on the roller skates, whatever have you, man. But that kid was balling out. He was doing his thing. So I think he's going to have a really nice season. There's a tons of value in getting that kid in the middle rounds.
Yeah, he's got really good hands, man. I seen how he just catches. Those receivers are always catching with with their chest. And this guy has his hands out. And I almost every time see him, nothing touches his pads. He's always out here, so he's got a great set of hands. I know I every time I see Dotson on there, I'm like, it's just that Washington name that just kind of throws me off on it, man. And I know that that does it for a lot of players. When you see like Houston receivers, you know what I mean? You're like, you know what I mean? Like that's always been a thing for me. Yes, exactly. So stuff like that is what throws me out of the loop. But yeah, I mean, he's a great talent, man, and just that question mark at quarterback. I got another one right here, number 66 overall. I got Rachaad White, man. I drafted him in my league. I like him going in the middle round. I think I got him in round 7 or 6. I got him in, which is I think was pretty good talent because us running the double flex, he'd be one of my starters. And what I like about it is Baker Mayfield is probably one of the quarterbacks that throws to the running backs a lot. Either one, he's in trouble a lot, or he just can't see over the offensive line. He'll just throw it right to the running back. So that's great for Rachaad White owners. I think he's going to get a lot of catches out the backfield this season. Now it's going to be his first year as a starter, or taking a load in the backfield. So I think you're going to get a lot of value out of him. I think they're going to use him as that workhorse, and I think he could be one of those potential sleepers also for next year in those keeper leagues. So hopefully he does a great job, and I can probably use him as one of those top running backs to keep him the following year in round 7. How you guys like Rachaad White?
I like him. Yeah. Questions about the offensive line, but I think at that, round 6, round 7, it's probably one of the last guys that's for sure going to get a major workload. So it's a good pick.
Yeah, no, I got the same sentiments as Ryan. I think that, he's going to get in the end zone as long as they can get down the field. As long as Baker can take them where they need to go, I feel like and he makes big plays too. It's not like he's just a goal line like type of runner. He actually gets he can break off 20, 25 yards real quick and get this offense down the field. It's a solid pickup around there.
Yeah, I think so. Just keep an eye on Rachaad White. I mean, there's a lot of guys on here. I'm actually looking at this list right now, and I'm kind of looking at I know I picked up Godwin before him, and I was kind of mad because I didn't pick up Christian Kirk. And now that I look at Christian Kirk and all the weapons they have out there, I'm kind of happier I took Godwin just because there's not as many receivers in Tampa Bay. You'll probably get more looks. Godwin will probably get more looks. So actually, yeah, dude, there's so many middle round, middle round talent out there, man.
At least between Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, I think Godwin is the one that gets a lot more targets. Mike Evans is like that big man that goes downfield and tries to high point it. Just what I'm saying, get those big plays out of him. But I don't know. The thing that scares me the most is Baker. He got an arm, but it's like he's become a journeyman now. He did what he did last season in LA towards the end, and showing out just to try to get on the team. But he's got some big shoes to fill. Tom Brady's gone. Can he really live up to that? And can he make these two receivers continue to look good as possible? They dropped from 3 and 4 last season to all the way down to 7 and 8 this season. So that just tells you right there how much belief people got in Baker.
Yeah. Well, another good thing about Godwin too is I remember he came off an injury, and the guy still had over 100 receptions last season. So now he's coming into this season. Hopefully 100% healthy. I'm pretty sure he's going to come in healthy. And just the route running for him should be that much more crisp. So I'm looking forward to that. If not, and Fantasy Family's open for trade. So, I know there's a couple of guys looking for a receiver out there. Maybe the Cobra wants to, throw a trade here later on tonight before the show's over. Maybe we can get a deal done. All right. Moving on. Anybody, what you got next for us, Billy?
Trying to think here, man. I really want to say Drake London if Riddler can continue to do what he's doing in this preseason and translate that into the regular season, then I want to say that Drake London would be a great pickup around 6 or 7, depending on how you're drafting and everything. if he falls to you that late, he could potentially be. He has upside. I'll say that. He's a talented wide receiver, very talented. I had him on my team. I just didn't keep him, just based off again the QB situation. But from what I've been seeing in this preseason, that Riddler, whatever the hell his name is, he's
that
actually,
quarterback from Atlanta.
exactly. He's actually playing decent. You know what I'm saying? So Drake London could possibly have himself a really good year. Obviously, he's the number one wide receiver out there. So I mean, getting him 6-7, man. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad pickup. But if he continues to drop, even at round 8 pick 9, if he's there, I would grab him. He's talented. He's a very talented wide receiver.
Yeah, he's young, man. The only thing is, the offense. They're gonna run the hell out of that ball. That's the thing. They're gonna run the hell out of that ball. Bijan Mustard is gonna take a lot of that, and then I got Algier. I don't know, man. That's a tricky one for me, man. Like I said, that's the kind of one I was talking about. Like you look at it, you say a team like Houston and the Nico Collins, but this receiver obviously has way more talent. It's just that quarterback situation.
That's why I did say, I said that the only thing that scares me is the QB situation. I just feel like Drake London is talented enough to at least put up some double-digit points. I mean, even if you needed to put him as a flex,
that's exactly where I was gonna go.
You know what I'm saying? Flex him out and then play it week to week, depending on, you know what I'm saying, matchups and things like that. That's where he'll come in handy. But he'll definitely be able to, get you over the hump a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I could see that. That wouldn't be too bad. Purple Cobra.
Yeah, I'm gonna go way, way, way back. So deep rounds. So Miami backfield. So let's put the asterisk. We don't know if Jonathan Taylor is going to get traded to Miami, but I'm going to assume for right now that he does not get traded. And if that remains the case, all the way back here in the rankings with Fantasy Pros and looking at Yahoo ADP, which I think is the closest that you can get to like ESPN right now. At 187 average draft position, Jeff Wilson.
That's crazy.
That's egregious. Slap in the face. Like, I know it's going to be split between Wilson and Mostert. They got the rookie Devon Achane. Achane looked all right in preseason, but right now he's still showing 5th on the depth chart. Achane is got the shoulder injury, so he sprained a shoulder ligament. Unless they get Jonathan Taylor, I don't see how this backfield doesn't end up being Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert. And out of the two, I would probably want Jeff Wilson the most, since he's out of all the running backs. He's not the fastest, but he's the most like physically imposing back, and is probably the best back that they have. That's best back on the goal line. And with the way that offense moves, man, they're going to get in the red zone a lot. I picked up Jeff Wilson in the Fantasy Family League in like round 14. And I know we don't pay attention to ESPN projections a lot, but he's projected for 9 points. And what I'm betting on is that I bet by the time we get to week 1, it's going to come out that, if they didn't trade for Taylor, it's going to come out that Jeff Wilson's the starter. And then that projection is going to be like 11 or 12 points. He's going to end up being the starter. So I just think when that late, like, why not take the shot?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I hate Jeff Wilson.
No, I agree. Cause I mean, we talked when the whole trade situation happened, when Jeff went to Miami, and I heard you guys talking about how, he's not that good. He's not going to be able to fit into this thing. And I already knew what was going to happen. I said Jeff Wilson, give him a couple weeks and he's going to be the starter. What'd he do? Yeah. Went to Miami, started putting up points, and then obviously he got injured, but he was still doing great. I was pretty much the same offense as the 49ers. Yeah. So he was fit right in. It was a nice fit. I feel he's the better running back between him and Mostert. Yeah. And that's not to say Mostert's a bad running back. It's just that those knee injuries are killing him, and Jeff is just
he's 4 years younger too, and he's bigger.
And
So
Jeff is a nasty running back. So if you can get him in those deep late rounds like Cobra, snatch him up because he's going to put up those points. He can easily get you a couple 20-point games. Like he's that good.
I just think like especially in our leagues with double flex, like at that late in the draft, if you can find like if you can just find a starter, just any
Exactly.
a starter, like it could end up paying off down the road. But
Is he
yeah,
on your bench right now?
yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
See.
Yeah, he's fucking way down there. Excuse my language.
Yeah, he is pretty low. You talk what number was he? 138?
178.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is pretty solid for something that low. You're talking about almost not even getting drafted at that point too. So to see, especially if you see those guys on the waivers, yeah, go pick them up if you've already drafted for sure. Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. I'm not a big fan of him though, but if you're looking at it that way as a starter, you got Raheem and Jeff right there. They're gonna split that 50-50, man. That was the same thing last year. The knock on those two guys, they both get hurt. Hey, so one of them gets hurt, and then it's Raheem gets hurt, and then Jeff Wilson takes the load. What 20 plus carries, and there you go. That's the week you want to start them. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a win-win right there.
It's really not that hard to lock up the entire backfield if you want.
Yeah, it's not. You could go back to back at picks 14 and 15 and have the two starters right there. I got number 100 overall in Fantasy Pros. I'm gonna talk about Elijah Moore, man. I think that's solid value right there. I think he has potential to be actually a number two wide receiver on your fantasy team. I think the Browns offense is, man, they're gonna move, man. Second year for Deshaun Watson coming back around. He's gonna sling it this year, man. And the chemistry, I think the chemistry is gonna be there. Amari Cooper is gonna look good. I just think that everything in that offense is gonna look good for Cleveland. And I think Elijah Moore is going to be the one that benefits the most out of this offense. And to get him at pick 100, I think you're going to get. I think that's one of the steals you can get from the draft. I think he's playing on the opposite
10.
side. You got him around 10?
Yeah.
You picked him up? I was looking. Yeah. I couldn't find who picked him up. I didn't even look that hard. But yeah, I really like Elijah Moore. I really like him. So you see him down there around 100. That's the guy to grab for me.
All right, I got a later pick. I would say possibly round 10 the earliest. And I mean, obviously, if you can get him like 14th, I would go after this quarterback. His career is being rejuvenated. Got a whole new team. Got a crazy arm. Mr. Derek Carr, man. There's a lot of value in Mr. Derek Carr. It's not. I feel like he's getting overlooked because of the whole Raiders situation, but you got to think, man, he's going to New Orleans, starting new. He doesn't have a bad arm. This guy can throw it 60 yards pretty much. And now he got Michael Thomas back, who wants to play football, not injured. He's not recovering. He's literally on the field. He's excited. He got himself a good QB now. I mean, what did he have? Taysom Hill. So I would be injured too, man. You know what I'm saying? But you got Alvin Kamara, only suspended 3 games. You got Jamal Williams in the backfield. I mean, you still got Taysom Hill out there at tight end. I think that, he has himself a lot of key pieces over there in that offense, that it's not like a rebuild mode where he's not going to be able to do anything. But I feel like he's going to, as a backup QB, getting him pick 10. I got 14 is where I got him at.
Yeah.
As a backup quarterback, he will bring value to your team, especially when your starter, whoever you got. For me, it's Lamar Jackson. So that bye week, obviously, that's a no-brainer. Put Derek Carr in. If Lamar Jackson, knock on wood, hope he doesn't get injured. But if, God forbid it, that does happen, I feel comfortable enough to plug in Mr. Derek Carr and have him lead my team and get me at least 15 to 18 points per week.
I like him a lot in the TIYF league. 6-point passing touchdown. If I didn't keep Patrick Mahomes, I would be eyeing a guy like Derek Carr in the later rounds. I just feel like I don't know. I don't know if you guys think this, but Derek Carr and his skill set, I feel like it's the perfect fit with the Saints and just the way they run their offense. And he's got like two receivers and a tight end that are excellent in mid range and in the slants, and then he's got a really good running back to dump off to with Kamara. I don't know, just feels like it's going to be a lot of short targets, but he'll probably end up scoring a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, he's an awesome game manager, man. I mean, he's not that deep ball threat. I mean, I don't know why the Raiders. We all knew he didn't have an arm to go deep, man. But I don't know why they kept pushing the fact. Always we bring in all the fastest guys in the world. Yeah, go ahead and run a streak. Man, Derek can only throw the ball 60 yards, man. What are you doing? I was like, they're running 80 yards and they're waiting for the ball to get there. Yeah, so I agree, man. You just got to put the pieces around him that fits the quarterback. And you nailed it, man. I mean, you got the slant king over there. You know, I mean, we seen what he can do when Breeze was out there, right? I think he was the #1 draft pick in fantasy overall a couple years ago. I want to say a couple, maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It's been a while.
Yeah, it feels like a maybe. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I don't know. Like it feels like it almost could be like a Drew Brees 2.0 type situation. Just putting, not ask him so much to be like the savior. I know Drew Brees is a Hall of Famer, but the talent around him, though, I mean, is elite. Just get the ball to your talented players and let them do their work.
100%, man. I like that. Yeah, I like Jared Carr there, man. That's a good pick, way late in the rounds, especially for a backup, man. You have potential to be, maybe a top 12, maybe number 12 quarterback. You never know.
Yeah, that would be a great keeper too for next season. If he pans out,
yeah, if he pans out, man. I know I got like maybe one or two more. You got anything else, Ryan?
Yeah. Well, okay. There's a bunch in here. I'm gonna go this. I got two more. Okay, I'm gonna go with another running back. Going way late, Yahoo ADP of 132, so that puts him around 13, 14-ish, maybe 12 through 14. Kenny Gainwell, man. Kenny Gainwell with Philadelphia is a guy that gets overlooked a lot, and for good reason. He wasn't really that great in fantasy last season. But if you watch the playoffs, watch Super Bowl, it was the Kenny Gainwell show. Started taking snaps away from Miles Sanders. It's his third year in the offense, second year with Sirianni. I don't know. I mean, the price that it costs to get DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny, I feel like the right play in this backfield, knowing that it's going to be a committee, the prudent move is to take the guy that's the cheapest in Kenny Gainwell. And a lot of the reports coming out of camp are saying that Gainwell is getting the most reps with first team. And if that pans out, like week 1, we find out that he's like the 1A and Swift is the 1B or something like that. Even in a crowded backfield like that with Jalen Hurts, who's a Russian quarterback, I still think it's going to have some value, especially if you're getting him in around like 12, 13, 14.
Yeah, I like Kenny Gainwell. I think we've all been high on that guy since the Super Bowl or before that. The playoffs. When the playoffs started, you just see when playoffs started, he just kind of took over that whole backfield.
He outproduced your boy, bro. Made him leave.
Sanders. we even betted on him in the Super Bowl, man, and he came through.
Yeah, he came through. And it was quick too, man. He hit everything. I think we had him on receptions and rushing yards or something like that. It was real quick, and all that. We wrote him off, man. That guy was clutch for us. Kenny Gainwell, solid pick. I got one at 179 Fantasy Pros, man. I'm gonna go homer on this one, man. I'm gonna go third in Renfro, man. I know there's a lot of receivers out there for the Raiders, but if Jimmy G's throwing the ball and you got a guy that's just before he got hurt last season, he had that. I don't know if everybody forgot about that year. He had down here 100 receptions, and he had about 1,000 yards, like 6-7 touchdowns. The guy he's an awesome route runner, man. I mean, you hear all these other corners talk about one of the hardest guys to cover is Hunter Renfro because he's so small. He's always moving around. He's just juking everything. I mean, especially at pick 176, and he's out there with one of the last picks. Why not take a chance on him, man? like I said, with the offense they got going there, Jimmy's not going to always be trying to throw the ball downfield. So I think Renfro will be there as long as the offensive line can hold up a little bit and get him some time to wiggle through. I think, man, Renfro might be one of those picks that can easily get you a flex and maybe into that wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2 spot.
Yeah,
Billy?
You like Mr. Renfro?
I like Mr. Renfro, man.
I think I like Myers. I like Myers just a little bit better,
A little bit more.
a little younger.
But at 170, I'm talking about fancy at 170. You taking one at 176, so you're talking about if you have 17 rounds. You're probably talking about I think he got picked in the last round of our draft in round 16.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, I think Jose took him.
Yeah.
Jose took him in the last round.
He's one of those guys, man. I like Renfro just from the type of player he is. Like, it's always those guys late in the draft or never get drafted that are just the slot receivers. Like Cole Beasley was always a guy that I liked, that would never get drafted, but would end up being solid, like in your flex spot or something.
You start him the right week too, man. Gives you like 25 points. Yeah, I'm like, yo, this is the last pick of the draft. What's he doing down here? Yeah, so that's one of the guys, man. And because he's a Raider, so that's why I was high on him. You got Billy.
The next one I got, man, is the tight end. I know we touched on him a little bit earlier. Pause. Mr. Gerald Everett. I know that he went in round 16 for the past 2 years in our league. But Gerald Everett, man, he's a solid tight end. I really like how he plays that position, man. He gets open. He can break tackles, get yards after catch. He's a big target in the end zone, especially for Herbert. I know that they got him at 187 and tight end 21 on this list, but looking over it, he has the 4th easiest schedule for tight ends this season. So, I mean, it's a solid pickup. I mean, if you need a backup tight end in the later rounds, I would even pick Mr. Gerald Everett up like around 12, 13. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think for me, he's solid, and it's a win-win situation for him, because if he balls out like I think he's gonna do, you know what I'm saying, that's he's gonna get in that conversation of top tight ends in this league. I really like this. I like him as a tight end. I really like what he does, especially for the Chargers.
Yeah, a lot of mouths to feed. I know we talked about it, but I think he's gonna get his, man.
He got it last year, man. He was man. That's why I was able to plug him in, man, like in certain weeks, and he was winning me weeks.
I hope he does it this year too.
Yeah, I like that. I like that pick. I feel like there's a lot of tight ends this year. Like, if you don't get one of the top guys, like, you might as well just punt the position and get one of those guys like Everett or Jawan Johnson or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
All right. I got one more. This one's probably not going to be as popular in our friend circle, but that's okay. I'm going to throw it out there. I believe quarterback for Indianapolis, Anthony Richardson, rookie. So I know you guys don't see it, but the guy's already been named a starter. I think there's going to be a lot of – I see the thumbs down, Paul. There's going to be a lot of rushing attempts, and I think it just depends on the kind of league that you're in. So, like in TOIF and 6-point passing touchdown, I wouldn't touch him. So, like, I'll tell you guys, like, in the draft coming up this Saturday, I probably won't draft him. But in the other league, Fantasy Family, where it's standard 4-point passing touchdown, I like Richardson a lot. I think there's a case to be made that he's probably going to be top 5 in rushing, or there's a chance that he could be top 5 in rushing. If we look at Justin Fields from last season, the guy didn't throw for shit, like a couple thousand yards, but rushed 1,000 yards. Now, I'm not saying Anthony Richardson's going to get 1,000 yards rushing, but it wouldn't shock me if he had like 6, 7, 8 touchdowns. And just that alone, man, would be enough points to at least be a decent quarterback and maybe like a back end QB1.
Okay.
But it's risky for sure.
You can draft him in TIYF, man. By all means, it's fine. I don't got a problem with that.
That's all right. I need the bench space. I got Mahomes, man. Good.
Well, must be nice, man. Looks like all the quarterbacks are gone in that league already. Everybody keeping quarterbacks. Jeez. All right, I got one more too, man. I still want to keep it on quarterbacks. I touched on him a little earlier.
I bet you did.
Mr. Kenny Pickett. Mr. Kenny Pickett, man. I'll say it. I said it once, I say it again. Man, I'm high on this guy, man. I really think he's gonna outperform what everybody thinks he is, his projections, all that. Kenny Pickett, I got him on Fantasy Pros at 159 overall. And in Fantasy Pros, man, he's got Johnson, he's got Pickens, he's got Najee, he's got Firemouth, he's got the weapons, man, to be great. I think he's gonna be. There's nothing to say that he doesn't have the weapons on the offensive end to be successful. The big story is the offensive line. He didn't have the offensive line last season, and he didn't have enough time to be able to plant his feet and get the ball out. I think it's a much improved offensive line. I know they went into the draft this season too. They picked up a couple of free agents. I think the line will be that much more better. Also, that's also going to help Najee Harris owners. And I'm always big about the play action, man. The play action is where it's going to feed all those linebackers in, and then boom, he's going to pop out, and he's going to have big plays. He's going to have big plays with the tight ends and wide receivers. I have high expectations for Kenny Pickett, man. I could see him as a top 12 quarterback. Also, maybe number 12 overall. That's when I say top 12, I'm always talking about when these guys are solo, they're going to make the top 12. I'm talking about the number 12 spot. So to be the number like 12 fantasy quarterback and to get him in round 16 or 15, that's big money for me, Ryan.
Yeah, I like Kenny Pickett too. What I kind of wonder is like if they'll ever use him like they used Ben Roethlisberger, and just because it seems weird, but to think about, but just like a few seasons ago, like the Steelers were like the number one passing offense in the whole NFL. And I don't know if Pickett can be as good as we think he can be. Maybe there's a chance, man, that they throw it they throw it close to 600 times. If that happens, then I think all three of those guys, like Pickens, Johnson, Freiermuth, they're all gonna have good years.
I don't think Pickens is as big as Big Ben, though. He's not gonna. I mean, to take hits like Big Ben took. I mean, Big Ben. I mean, he took some hits and he still stood in there.
He didn't go down.
Yeah, I know. He would just stay up there. That was a big guy, man. Pickens is a little bit slimmer, and I mean, one bad shot and might be lights out. So, yeah, I don't know if you want to keep throwing the ball and let him take shots like that, but I think the talent's there around him. I think the talent's there on the front line. He's got plenty of meat on the front, and I think he's gonna be successful, man.
Yeah, no, I got one more. It's another rookie wide receiver, Jordan Addison. Compliment to Jefferson. He got the quarterback. They got the run game. Again, they got the tight end. Between Jefferson, Hawkinson, and Addison, man, I think that offense is going to just ball out of control, man. So again, a lot of these rookies are going middle of the pack, 7-8. You know what I'm saying, around there. So Jordan Addison would be a great pickup, another rookie to pay attention to watch. You can get him around 7-8, man. I would grab him. Again, I mean, even if he falls to 9, I mean, you're gonna have a possible keeper pick for next season. So I mean, just be on the lookout for Mr. Jordan Addison, man.
I like Addison a lot too, man. I think his route running is probably, I think it's right below. I think Zay Flowers is probably a little bit better, but I think Addison's right there, right next to him, man. I like it a lot just because he got Hawkinson. You got Hawkinson and JJ out there, so all the heat's away from you. So basically, you focus on all you gotta do is focus on that one guy coming in as a rookie with all that talent. You shake that guy one good time, man. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit with this guy, man. I like his eyes just because of the offense he's in. You got Captain Kirk throwing the football. I mean, I like it. I like that. I like that a lot. I tried to snag him too. He was one of my guys I was trying to target in the draft, but he just didn't fall my way, man.
We got a hater in the chat tonight, Mr. Charlie Alvarado.
Oh yeah. What's up,
I can't post what he just what he said. He just put a whack team. But I'll just keep it as that. I can't put it up. But yeah,
I wonder if my boy is in midseason form, man. How about Raiders?
I think he's in like that battle mode right now. The draft's coming up Saturday.
Oh, he's
I
in
think he's
battle
ready.
mode. Huh?
Yeah, man. He wants that number one spot. He's been excited for you to join this league. You know what I'm saying? So
it's all good, man. It's all good.
Because I told him I was like, we about to get some real talent. You know what I'm saying? We got some real talent coming in, man. I was like, so
we got a lot of experience here, man. Just man, I've been playing. I remember I was waiting in leagues for my dad in fantasy when I wasn't even old enough, man. I used to have to write it down. I used to have to write it down on paper, all the scores and stuff, man. Like it was whack. But yeah, but my dad will never tell you the truth. He said he won it, but he would always like, my fantasy's coming up. And I was, what was I, like 14, 15 years old? Oh yeah, just take Randy Moss. Take Randy Moss. That's who you want. Take Peyton Manning. Those are the two you want. Won him a couple championships. He'll never tell you guys that that's what happened, man. I'll tell you that right now.
So I do got a question for you guys. What are your season standouts? Like what are your predictions for the season, and like for quarterback, running back, wide receivers, who do you think will be the standouts this season? There's always somebody that comes out of nowhere and just takes over the league. We had Jefferson, we got we got Chase, we got, you know what I'm saying? We got people like that, but who besides those, who's your guys' standouts for this upcoming season that you guys are excited to either like draft, you know what I'm saying, try to trade for, you know what I'm saying, and things like that?
I really think Jalen Hurts is going to be the quarterback one this year, not just because I got him, but I just think he's going to be the quarterback one in fantasy. I think this guy's hungry, man. I see all these videos on him. He keeps showing himself, leaving that field after the Super Bowl, just as a loser. Man, I think he just has that extra motivation to he wants to do more. You know what I mean? So I think I think Jalen Hurts is gonna be the number one quarterback over Mahomes, because Mahomes. I mean, we all know how great Mahomes is, man. Running back Nick Chubb, man. Nick Chubb, I think he's gonna be the number one running back. I think he's going at running back number 5 or something like that right now, but I think he's gonna be the number one overall in fantasy. I really like Nick Chubb. I'm kind of like torn. I think your boy Cooper Kupp comes back to number 1 overall as wide receiver 1 in fantasy. So those 3 guys, I like those 3 guys returning. If you have in your first round, those are guys to target for sure. Except for Hurts, you probably get him in the second or third if he's not a keeper.
He's most likely a keeper in everybody's league, man. Here you go, baby. What's up, Cobra? What you got?
Yeah, just looking through the list. So I'll go one of each position, I guess. Start with tight end. I'm a believer in Darren Waller this year. I'm a believer in the Giants pretty much as a whole with Dayball. So I think Waller finishes as at least a tight end 3 this season. Now, in quotes, if he's healthy. But if he plays most of the games, I think he's going to be easily a top 5 tight end, if not could be top 3 or even number 2. Wide receiver, guys I like. For whatever reason, I don't know why, I'll never be able to draft this guy, but I just have this feeling that Deebo Samuel is going to be really good this year. After coming off a bad season last year, there's a lot of fantasy pundits and analysts are saying, they're like, well, what was really the outlier season, his monster year from a couple seasons ago or last season where he had a bad year? I just think that I get there's a lot of mouths to feed, but he's just he's in a very unique position where he gets rushing attempts. He gets enough passing work to at least be viable. And if you guys remember, I kind of talked about this a long time ago. One of the things I like to do early on in drafts is just straight up draft a star. Like, who are the actual stars in the NFL? I think Deebo is a star. He is he's one of the star players in the NFL that has the name recognition and I don't know. I think in the 3rd, 4th round, it's a good pick. Me personally, I would take the bet, but I'll never get him because there's always a 49er friend in front of me that'll draft him first. so I don't have to worry about that.
Hey, real quick before you get to your next one, Ryan, I think Ayuk has a better season than Debo.
I could see it. Yeah, I could see it. Either one of those guys are gonna be good, man.
Yeah, but if you draft Debo too high, that's what I'm saying. If Ayuk's getting more, if Ayuk's gonna be better, you're gonna get better with rounds. So what was Ayuk going 7, 8?
I think he was going a little higher. I just had him at 7.
About 6.
He's going 6. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 6, 7-ish.
But so look, the whole Debo situation last season, he was fat. He missed training camp. He didn't go to OTAs. He missed the training camp. He was having those issues. So, and we always say, like, when you're missing all that, and then you try to come into a real game, you're trying to get your legs. It's like you can't do that during the season. So obviously his season was a little bad last year. He was really big. He came in like overweight. But this season, obviously seeing him last week play, he's slimmed down, but he's still crazy big, running through players. I mean, he's that running back, body built, like I'm gonna lower my shoulder and drop you to the ground, and I'm gonna get my yards after the catch. And I feel like to Ryan's sentiments, I feel like he's gonna have himself a monster year. I mean, yes, there is a lot of mouths to feed. Yes, you do got Brandon Ayuk. Yes, there is Jawan Johnson in that wide receiver 3 position out there, CMC. But at the end of the day, when you're gonna go give it to a playmaker to make something happen, it's gonna be Debo's number who's getting called, and that's just being a 49er fan and recognizing Kyle Shanahan. He's gonna give it to his star playmakers, and the 2 star playmakers on the 49ers, Debo and George and CMC.
Man,
but I'm talking about in the passing game. Like you got George and you got Debo. Yes, CMC is gonna get the ball, but at the end of it, like it's one of those 2 guys.
But reporting to camp because he's fat, that's not an excuse, man. My wife calls me fat every day, but you know what? I produce every day and every night, and I get the job done. All right, so there's no excuse, man. It's his job, all right? I do what I got to do, all right? Because you're fat, I don't want to hear it, man. There's no excuse, man. It's your job. That is your job, my boy. I have no excuse because he's fat or he didn't show up to camp late. Yada, yada, yada. Hell nah.
That just sounds like a Raider hater. That just sounds like a Raider fan hating on the 49ers.
Debo Samuel in the 3rd round. If you want Debo Samuel and you want to lose your fantasy league, take Debo Samuel in the 3rd round. Do it. Next question, please. Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, man. I kind of lost my spot. See, I got to find a quarterback. Man. I think I'm gonna go. So like just guy with the outside shot that could be top 5 or top 4 QB. Let's say Justin Herbert.
You mother man.
Yeah,
Herbert, my quarterback, bro.
I knew one of you guys was gonna say, man.
Well, or Joe Burrow. I like Joe Burrow a lot too.
But he's already up there. He's already
he's already in tier 1.
That's why I said Herbert.
I guess I put Hurts there, but I said number 1 overall.
Yeah, just Justin Herbert. The offense, they're going to throw a lot. They threw the most last season. They'll probably throw a lot again. He has a lot of weapons. It's got at least 4 guys that can catch a pass. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Eckler, and Johnston. So yeah,
forget Everett.
Good chance, and Everett. Yeah, so just lots of weapons. And then at running back, I think ETN is going to have a real good year. Like he's kind of gotten pushed down the draft a lot, a little bit on the smaller side, but the guy is efficient. And if the Jags offense just takes that step forward that we think they will, with another year of, God, I'm already forgetting his name. What's their quarterback?
My boy T Law.
Yeah, T Law. There we go.
That's because he's trash, bro. That's why.
My boy T Law.
Caca. Because he's caca. That's why.
Shout out to my boy Adam.
I think he's just going to be really efficient, and I don't, Tank Bigsby, he's all right, but a lot of Bigsby hype, but when it really comes down to it, it's going to be a lot of ETN. And to me, ETN is the better running back. When you watch him, when you actually watch the tape, watch him run. Etienne is the guy. So that'll be it for me.
Yeah, and he's on the block on Fantasy Family, just to let you guys know.
Etienne.
He's on the block.
So, all right, I'm gonna start running back, man, and I'm gonna go with my guy Khalil Herbert. I feel like he finally got his chance at running back. He's the RB1. Yes, he's gonna have to split carries with his quarterback, but I've always been high on Khalil Herbert. I've always thought he was very talented at the running back position. He just had to really split carries with David Montgomery. I mean, when he gets his chances, though, man, he's making big plays. He's already broke a 55-yarder in preseason. I mean, that I feel like he is ready to go and show out and show why he is the RB1 there and why he needs to stay the RB1. Yes, they got Donta Foreman coming from Carolina. I mean, but that's going to be, third down. Obviously, Khalil Herbert's a little smaller, so you got to get that third down back, possibly even goal line. But I still feel like they're going to give Khalil Herbert enough plays, and he's just gonna ball out this season. I feel like he's gonna be closer to that top 12, top 15 type, and yeah, like I feel like he's gonna be there.
You think he's gonna get the whole load?
You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out.
Kick my boy Adam out the league.
Man, no more your boy. He kicked himself out the league, man. I asked him 1,000 times, if you don't respond back to me, that's not my fault. I hit you up twice. I hit him up twice. Hey, man, are you doing this? Are you still in the league? Left the league chat. It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
Damn, he didn't even say bye or anything, man. He'd be like, all right, guys, peace. My boy just got up, and Adam is no longer in this chat. I'm like, dang. Like,
that's
all
the
right,
second time. That's the second time he left the chat.
I guess, man. I was like, fine, I won't text in the middle of the night no more. I'm sorry. Jeez. It's all good, man.
And then as far as quarterback this season, you really took my pick with that, bro. Like that's crazy. I'm gonna go
Jackson.
But Lamar Jackson, I feel like Lamar Jackson's already up there, man. Like it's not like that's why I said he's already one of the more known guys. But I feel all right. I'm gonna say this. I feel like Geno Smith continues. I feel like Geno Smith continues his ascension, man. I feel like he's gonna continue to ball out. They just added a new extra toy for him in Jackson Smith and Jake. But yeah, he got a broken hand or whatever the hell. But you still got DK, you still got Tyler Lockett. He was Mr. Geno Smith had the best completion rate all season long. Wasn't just for a few weeks. He had the best completion rate all season long. And especially in the 6-point league, man, he was giving me 20, 21 points when I needed it. And that was on a consistent basis. I think that and now that you got Ken Walker back, fully healthy, this offense is primed and good to go, man. And I feel like Geno just takes it to that next level, man. And I feel like he gets up into a top 10 conversation where he should have been there last season. And I feel like he earns more respect, man. And Mr. Geno Smith is gonna be giving you 20-point games in the 4-point pass league.
All right.
You want to come up here, Charlie? You want to come up here?
Hey, real quick, shout out to my boy Mike, man. He's on the side over here. Text me. He said he wanted me to say something, man. Go Raiders the right way. Raiders. What's up? Anybody else? What else we got?
All right, man. So as far as wide receivers go, man, I feel like Mr. Brandon Ayuk this is the breakout season. He has been working his ass off since his rookie season. Yes, he does have good games here and there, but just watching him turn into the wide receiver he is, I feel like this is the season where everybody is like on him. Like he's a top 20 wide receiver, top 15 wide receiver by the end of the season. He's going to have more big games than not. And it's his work ethic, man. Like he reminds me of a Jerry Rice-esque type of work ethic, not player, work ethic,
Okay.
That's
Ooh.
yeah, work ethic. He has the hands, he has the route running skills. He's already got his name for himself, but this is that breakout season, especially with Brock Purdy, man. Brock Purdy can distribute that ball very nicely. Probably better than most of the quarterbacks we've had in the recent years. I mean, besides, I mean, not even Jimmy was able to distribute the ball like this. But this is Brandon Ayuk's breakout year, man. So look for him. You're gonna get him round 6 through 8. I kept him in 7, and I'm happy with him. He's been on my team like almost every year since his rookie year. I kept him 1 year, I drafted him the other, and now he's back on my team again. I pretty much had the same thing with Michael Pittman, but I don't got Michael Pittman this season. But this is Ayuk's breakout year, man. And then for my tight end pick, man, I'm just, you know what I'm saying. I gotta keep with my guy, bro.
You going Kincaid back to Kincaid or what?
Back to Kincaid, man. This is a rookie. This is gonna be a rookie standout, especially for this Buffalo team, man. He's gonna show. He's gonna show a lot, man. He's gonna be up there. He's gonna be in that tier 3, tier 2 at the end of the season, and he's gonna be high on people's list, man. Next season, he's not gonna be in round after round 12. He's gonna go early, probably like round 5, 6. He's gonna ball out. He got Josh throwing the ball. He's gonna be a standout, man, especially for a rookie.
You think he's gonna be a top 5 tight end, roughly, huh?
Eventually, I mean, in the next couple of years for sure. And I do got one sleeper. I said it. We talked about him at the beginning of the season. My Michigan guy, Ronnie.
Oh, God,
oh, bro, look at this kid. I loved him in Michigan. And not just because he was on the Michigan team, but dude, I watched him ball out every game. Like he has a crazy work ethic. He's working behind Debo. He is doing the same things, grabbing the ball, holding it like a runner, and popping players, getting that yard after catch. He's got the same script. He's doing everything that he needs to do. Watch for Ronnie Bell. I didn't draft him. I was able to get him off waivers. So I'm just saying, just go back and watch the tape. Go back and watch the tape on Ronnie Bell, man. This kid is going to be something special, and it's more of a keeper than anything. But just watch when he gets on that field, he's going to show out.
He's gonna also he'll probably outperform Debo. Just let you guys all know that too. Just make sure you guys take Ronnie. What's his name? Ronnie Bell. I don't even know his name. Ronnie Bell.
Slammy, yeah, Ronnie Bell.
If we want to talk about some guys that we've never heard of, I got one for you.
Lay it down, man. Let's hear it. Slammy, what's up, man?
Let's go back to the Colts, man. Alec Pierce, wide receiver 2.
Oh, I like him. That's the second year in the league.
Second year receiver. Metrics look good. So here's my case for Alec Pierce.
He's fire, bro.
So the new coach with the Colts is Shane Steichen, who was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles last season. And if we look back at Jalen Hurts and how Steichen kind of molded that offense to a young Jalen Hurts, it was a lot. What they really focused on was trying to simplify the offense as much as possible. And so by doing that, you had a lot of down the field stuff, a lot of go routes, a lot of, 4 wide, deep down the field. And early in his career, if you watched Hurts, it was a lot of bombs down the field. I would not be shocked if Richardson's doing the same thing. We've seen it. I've seen a lot of clips already from the preseason camps with the Colts. A lot of bombs down the field, and the main recipient of those bombs is Alec Pierce. He's a good receiver, man. He's known for going down the field.
He had some standout games. He had a couple good games towards the middle of the season last season. Michael Pittman obviously was injured, and Alec Pierce became that top target over there, man. And oh my God, I was like, who is this kid? And I looked him up, man, and that kid can ball out. But shout out to Slammy. He's in the chat. It's going good, bro. What's up? How's your fantasy season? Or your fantasy drafts going, man? And Yeah, it's good to see you in the chat, bro.
Since you guys all giving these sleepers, man, I'll throw one out there too, man. Let's talk about Romeo Dobbs one time, man. I think this guy has potential to be one of those wide receivers, man. Everybody's sleeping on, man. I really like him. He was doing great last season until he got hurt, man. Once he got hurt, man, he kind of just slipped a little, and then Christian Watson came, put on his cape, and he flew off and took over, and then everything was just brushed under the rug with Romeo Dobbs. But man, hey, when the guy was healthy, man.
Fire.
Man, that was Aaron Rodgers' boy, man. I'm telling you, he trusted him. That was his blanket. And this guy's going late in rounds, man. I mean, he's wide receiver 55 overall. Come on. I think if this guy stays healthy, I mean, potential to be like one, kind of like how Christian Kirk appeared. I think he can come out of nowhere and just be like, all right, now who the hell is this guy? And then that following year, man, he's gonna be up there in your fantasy drafts the following year, man. I really like Romeo Dobbs to be one of those sleeper picks to kind of just boom this season.
Yeah, I was reading some stuff on Romeo Dobbs before the season started, and that was actually Rodgers' top target in preseason and in practice. Like that's who was getting the ball. So I was already like, ooh, if Aaron Rodgers already trusts him that much that he's the top target in practice, that you already know that means something. Especially for Aaron Rodgers. If he don't trust you, you're not getting the ball. Look at what happened with Watson last season. He ain't get the ball.
It took him a while. You dropped that? Yeah, we ain't doing that.
But Romeo Dobbs is a fire wide receiver. He's one of the bigger ones. And the thing is that the only thing that scares me about Packers is Jordan Love. What can this kid come and do? You know what I'm saying?
It's question marks everywhere, man. With quarterbacks, I mean, we talk about Alex Pierce. You got Anthony Richardson throwing him the football. So yeah, like I said, there's question marks, a lot of question marks at quarterbacks for a lot of these potential breakout stars. So
for sure. And Sammy said he's going good. He's feeling confident that he's winning the league. Hey, championship mindset, baby. You already know, man. You already know.
All right, yeah. We have any other sleepers? Anybody else want to have something up their sleeve? No?
I think that's it for me.
What about you, Bill? Billy's over here frozen on me? Oh, okay.
Yeah. My bad. I don't know what just happened. I got a little internet blip. That was weird. Charlie saying Zay Flowers, man, out of Baltimore. Zay Flowers is nice, man. He's quick. He's quick. He's one of those other one of those other rookies that is going around 7-8. The
43 overall.
Got a solid rookie wide receiver top 5, like for sure. Between Jackson Smith, between Zay, between Addison, Johnson, and I think who else? There was one more, I believe.
Can't remember the other one.
Yeah. But there's between those five wide receivers, man, they're all talented. Zay Flowers is with Lamar Jackson over there in Baltimore, and it's gonna be fun to watch, man.
One of the better route runners coming out of college for sure, man. The way that guy, I just see that guy just putting somebody in a blender. I was like, yikes! I know it's practice in those videos I see in training camps, but to do that to one of the corners, man, it's kind of ridiculous. But yeah. For sure, man. He's got some route running ability for sure, man. That's all I got, man.
Yeah, that's the same here, man. We did a solid hour and a half, man. I mean, I think we good tonight. We gave a lot of good info on picks, but like middle rounds, even late rounds, man. So I mean,
these are the meat. This is like the meat and potatoes right here, man. Everybody knows their stars. Everybody knows what to do, man. Unless you're new to the league and new to football somewhere, somehow, I mean, you know who to pick the first 3 rounds. The rounds 5 through 10. Those are the kind of ones you're like unsure of, man. And you could take our opinion and just how we feel about it. I know we all have our own opinions on everybody else, and he likes this person better. He likes Debo. I hate Debo. Yeah, it is what it is. But it's just to get a feel. I mean, honestly, to like help comfort your pick. To say because you could like a guy really a lot, and the guy likes him just as much, and you take him right before that. So go with your gut. I mean, we watch a little. I know I watch a little training camp videos. It kind of helped my decision out a little bit better. So that's kind of what I go off of because the preseason. I mean, it's
Yeah,
preseason. You
for
know what I
sure.
mean? So
Charlie, we did hit on him. We just talked about Zay Flowers. We said that he's
Mhm.
fired. He's one of the top. He's one of the top wide receivers in the wide receiver class this year. There's only 3 others that I would draft in rounds 7 and 8. Like
Zay Flowers was one of them.
Zay Flowers was one of them. We've been talking about. We talked about him last week.
Zay Flowers has been on our radar, man.
Yeah,
I don't know who got him in our league, but yeah, it was a solid. I think he went right where we kind of predicted him to go.
8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So right where we were
8?
predicting him.
Holy cow!
Yeah, I think he went. Yeah, because it was Jackson Smith. I think he
And
went
took
8.
Jackson Smith.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then Quentin Johnson he got, and then I think Zay Flowers went right after that. Because Addison went first out of all the rookies.
Oh, you're round 9.
Oh, round
Damn, we
even-
went round 9.
Round 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
8, 9, same old man. Tomato.
Oh man, it went to Chris. That's
See, I knew
Chris.
that was the
dude.
last. That was the last one. He was the last wide receiver
Yeah.
pickup. But yeah, Charlie, you missed it. We were talking. We did call him out, man. He's fire. Very quick. He had that nice little touchdown last weekend for the Ravens. So yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch him and Lamar hook up throughout the season, man.
Yes, sir. All right.
Lee, bring us out, sir. Bring us out.
All right. Well, if that's all we got, Cobra, you good? Everybody's good?
He wants to talk about Roshan Johnson.
Talk about him.
Hey, he looked good, man, in preseason. Big, good pass blocker. Still third on the depth chart. So I wouldn't expect a lot from Roshan early on, but yeah, I mean, he's the kind of player that I like to take a bet on. Hey, Charlie, just so you know, so in Fantasy Family, I have Roshan on my bench. So yeah, I believe, but it's gonna definitely be a long-term project. Like I'm gonna have to sit on him for a while for that to pan out.
Ryan's thinking keeper though, so he didn't tell you that, Charlie. We got keepers, so Ryan's done the homework. He probably sees something in his crystal ball like he always does every season. You know what I mean? I don't know what he does. I mean, he's got a voodoo doll against my team at the end of the season. He starts poking it, and that's how I lose 9 or 6 games at the end of the season somehow. But I don't know what Ryan does. But yeah, Roshan is on his team. Probably be his keeper next year. Probably a top 10 back somehow.
It's gonna take a lot. I think it's gonna take a lot for Roshan to even. It's gonna take a lot for Roshan to actually even get up into that conversation of RB1.
Right.
I mean, you still got you got Donta Freeman, who is a solid RB2 over there, and then you got Khalil Herbert. Man, this is his year. This is his team right now. He's gonna lead them. Ain't nobody sleeping on him. I'm just calling it for what it is, man. They already got 2 heavyweights at running back, so the rookie's gonna come in and just watch what happens.
Hey, trust me, nobody's sleeping. In my league, nobody was sleeping on him because I know there was people talking behind me when he was like in that round where to get him. Oh, did you see about Roshan? Hey, Roshan. I'm like hearing Roshan whispering, and then Ryan just ran up to the podium and then just put him in there. So
You sure about that?
Yeah.
When I hit the draft button, I was like, "Who the hell's that?" That's what I heard.
I think it was. I know I talked about him, and then I think it was LeJon. I was talking to somebody about him, but we know how that field is. That backfield's all crowded and stuff.
I mean, if you want to talk about people that you might be sleeping on, man, go look up Kendrick Miller. You probably haven't even looked him up yet, man. Go look him up. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly, right. you want to talk about rookie running backs, man? Go look him up real quick. You know what I'm saying? He's talking a big game,
Hey, you
and I
can't be
like
helping
it.
out Charlie no more, man. Hey, I'm in this league now. That's the stop. That stops now. You can't be drafted for Charlie no more. I already know what you guys was doing back there. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be there at the draft, and then all of a sudden, you guys got to sit apart from each other. You guys can't sit next to each other and bump elbows. I'm like, yeah, take him. Nah, none of that this season. Let Charlie pick his own team. Hey, Charlie, no defenses in the second round, all right?
Third, it was the third.
49ers.
49ers.
No 49ers defense in the third round, Charlie. Oh, I heard about that, my boy. Yikes. Don't worry, man. I won't let you do that. All right.
Hey, one last time, let's reiterate it. Do not get no damn kickers in the top 10 rounds. No kickers. None of you bet if you anybody drafts kickers, do not talk to me about fantasy football. If you draft the defense in the top 10 rounds, do not talk to me about fantasy football because I don't care about your opinion.
But I got the Niners in the 9th or 8th round.
Get out of here. You're a bum. Let's go.
All right. Anybody have anything else before we take us out of this one?
I said
All
my
right.
piece.
All right. Well, all right, everybody. Well, you guys all know you can follow us at TIYF Pod on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Also at TIYF_pod on Twitch.tv. You can also follow this podcast later on when we get posted. Check us out on Apple Podcasts or any station you stream your podcast to. Other than that, that's all I got for the guys. Cobra, Billy, the truth here. I guess we'll see you guys next Wednesday. You guys have a good
8
one.
p.m. There's gonna be a crazy drop on Apple too.